Hey, can y'all hear me? Okay, cool. It gave me a message saying something is not working properly, excuse me. I didn't know what was going on. All right, so yesterday we went over basically, and it is still converting, I can see it in the back. We basically went over buyers. Mindset first, and everything is a mindset. You know, if this was my like team and stuff like that, we always start off with like affirmations. I'm like big on like setting the tone and the culture of us and everything. So I would impart that to you all, like whenever you start your day, especially when you cold calling, starting out. With me, I'm a different type of individual. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone on here can attest to that for themselves, that it don't take a lot to keep you, you know, to get you going and something that you truly want, you're gonna just jump into it. So when it comes to me, when I was cold calling, I was doing all this, from A to Z within my business. I'm the type that I can literally was on training. And when they told me something, I would do it during the time because I just wanted it. And if you know that what you're doing is real and is tangible and it's a healthy thing, then it's hard. It's like for me, I want to jump into it. So, and I feel that's with some of you all too. Just my interaction with some of y'all is like, that's how y'all are. Once y'all see something, you're gonna go get it. So that's how I looked at cold calling. Once they told me, look, this is what you need to do to get in touch with this seller, I jumped on it. Right with Siri. Hey Siri, dial whatever. And dialing. And that's how I eventually got my first deal. And I didn't have no framework. I didn't have none of this stuff that y'all gonna eventually get for myself.
Sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
Siri's still with me. I seen Siri woke up just when she heard. So yeah. So this stuff here, man, is gonna be like if you apply it, I promise you, it's gonna cut the learning curve. And people pay a ton of money for this stuff. I ain't pay like me. I'm talking about the stuff I done dished out. You getting it from right here, and this what I paid for. I just love it. I ain't tripping about that. So was I was somehow yesterday we were talking about buyers, and I want to say this before I go because I didn't think this last method and one of the ways that you can find buyers too. You know how we drive for dollars or drive for deals, whatever you want to call it. You know how you drive by and you see new developments and you see people renovating houses. Stop, pull over. Those are your buyers right there. That person who renovating that house is a fix and flipper. That person is basically the one that can come take down your deals. So that's a super, super easy way to build up your buyers list. Same way you drive for dollars, drive for buyers, using that same technique. And let me see, let me open one more thing up. For those who didn't get any type of Propstream, Erskine, I'm gonna unmute you or unmute yourself. I gotta figure out how to make this thing stay muted because there was some stuff happening yesterday. But Erskine, do you know this? Do you have any type of software or you new to this? If you new, that's perfect.
Kind of new.
Perfect. So have you ever had any type of systems?
No.
Okay, download this. It's like a 7-day free trial. You're gonna need it for what we're gonna do. Download, just hit this and it'll take you into it. And this is what you call Propstream. I don't think they give you the app in the free version. I'm not sure. Maybe y'all can tell me that. I was on it before we had an app, so it just got it by default when it came out. And I'm hoping I can get enough to where I can bring Burton in before this over. Because I got like a thing that email they send, like if I ever need someone to come in. Plus I have Burton number. He don't answer me like he used to. He used to answer me all the time. But I guess they Hollywood. Nah, Burton a good dude. Burton good people. I like Burton. I done talked to him a couple times. But yeah, download this Erskine or whoever don't have it. And this I'll give you a few seconds. Just let me know whenever you finish signing up. Just put done in here. And then you can go to my YouTube and you can see yesterday's. And I'm gonna try to form. I may even take it out and just when I can find somebody to do that, and just or I don't know, probably keep them there, but take it out and put it in a formatted so I can just say here, and they can just go through it instead of just keep clicking. I don't know. It's kind of easy. I'll ask you to download this data, Rodney, this link. If you don't have Propstream, if you have ever had it, cool. If you have it, perfect. And we're going to use that today. I may open up batch, but I don't know. I look into it. I see. Because we ain't gonna really skip trace today. We may skip trace, because that means tomorrow y'all can start talking to people. No, I won't do that. That's too early. I let y'all, we ain't gonna skip trace. We just gonna, oh, perfect, Rodney. Cool. We're gonna be using that to get sellers. Because we gotta pay, what I call the WHN Way is basically the free using all your resources. And my thing is about embracing the things and tools that you have, right? So part of that is outside resources. It don't have to be a type of software. This is the paid stuff that kind of get you discouraged if things ain't working right. You'll get discouraged if you're spending a ton of money. You like, yo, I ain't getting no traction and this is not happening for me. So what do I do? And then when I get some people out there, I say, hey, just kind of back off some of your systems and work for this for now until you get to that point. Because what happens is a lot of people get systems that kind of comfort them. They get into a comfort level, and you get, you get out of that hungry stage. You want to always, for me, want to always have that hunger to go off of really what you're going off for. That's why my dreams be like super high. So that means I got to put in this X amount of work, no matter what's coming in to this month or next month or whatever. It's about I ain't at that goal I got. Now, when I got that goal, I'm gonna just rewrite it. I'm gonna do something else. That don't mean I'm gonna just sell off until the sunset. And I don't think any of you all do that. I think you just rewrite your goal and go to something else. So you wanna have that hunger until you at the point that when I'm relaxing, whatever that look like, whatever that day look like for you in 5 years, 10 years, 15, whatever that day look like now is just the day is the moment that you reverse engineer it. So let me see, I ain't gonna share my screen. We're gonna get into how to find sellers, and you're gonna find out even the same things that you do to find a buyer, you do the same thing to find a seller. So who all did the homework? I guess I'll call it homework. You can just type it in the chat. Just say, hey, yeah, me. Did anybody get any new buyers on their list? Jail did. Perfect. Jail, you the only one. That's gonna be Tanisha. I know Tanisha did. That's what the question. So you got Tanisha, Rodney. Yeah, Rodney's your first day for sure. You knew. I need to talk to you. Let me talk to you for a second, bro. What's going on, Rodney? Can you hear me? Not yet, man.
Hey, what's up, bro? What's going on?
Oh, great, bro. It's nice to have you here. Definitely nice to see your face. Yeah, you know, cut the camera on. We love to see people here. I don't know why they're cutting the camera. I ain't gonna press them about their camera right now, but it's okay. Yeah, it's nice to see you here, bro. Where you from? Where you? I'm gonna say reside. If I say market, like you hear me say 5 places, you know. So
yeah, I'm in New York City.
New York, cool.
Yeah, so I started buying my first data out here, but I started following the Zero to Hero challenge.
Okay.
And from there, I ended up going to Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, perfect. Virtual. Yeah. So I might get in a little virtual stuff to show them just the tools. Cause like New York, you know, that's the tough market. My man Carlos, we always joke about it. He up there, he stays stressing about something, but he making money though. That's my man though. But yeah, I know New York is different, and it's definitely a market you want to get outside of if you can, if it makes sense for you. You know.
Yeah.
Dallas is a good market. I got people down there. because that's one of mine too that does stuff. So anything you ever need help with, of course we here, whatever throughout this process, just reach out to me. I got it. I put my number back in the chat for everybody again. If they knew, you can just text me whenever, bro. But yeah, happy to have you here though, man. All right, cool. Yeah, happy to have you, bro.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
I see a few people. So you knew you don't get you don't got the buyers yet, but on my YouTube page, you'll see the of yesterday's stuff,
Yeah.
and you'll see how we pull buyers. You can pull hedge funds and all that type of stuff. So pretty cool.
Okay.
So we're gonna go into whoever did it today. So okay, cool. So Jail, let me
Yes.
unmute you for a second. What did you, so with your buyers, you got criteria for them, areas and all that stuff? They basically gave you the blueprint?
Well, the buyer that I talked to said that he doesn't really have a buy box, but he said, well, I have he can go from 50,000 to 5 million. And I'm like, oh, okay.
You got
That's
you
kind of scary.
shoot, yeah. That means you got a person that'll buy multifamily too.
Yeah. So and I asked him, well, will it be a residential or a single vision? He said, well, anything. Actually, he's looking for an apartment building. He said that would be better for me. I'm like, okay, I'm not ready for that.
Oh, I might got something for you. I just remember, remind me after this. I get apartment deals in Texas all the time.
Okay. Okay.
Nice, nice. Love that. So that means like he give you his areas too?
Pardon me?
Did he give you the zip codes or counties or anything like that?
No, he said, because I'm in Dallas, and he said, well, if you're in Dallas, give me at least 1 or 2, but anywhere else, anywhere else in Texas, I'm good.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, you're gonna do good with him. Definitely check up on him. Like if stuff is dry, whatever, just keep contact with him.
Yeah.
Because that's a real buyer right there. When they say that right there, they got access to capital. That's good. Great,
Because
great.
he's a doctor.
Oh, see, he a high net worth individual. So those are the types of because I was gonna get kind of that to where we got to like the end of this, like when we just conversating, I'm gonna talk about like private money, because that's something I'm still trying to raise, right? It's more private capital. And one of the people you can get it from is your doctor. Like a person put me onto that. He was like, he asked his doctor. He was just talking, and his doctor started being his private money guy. So yeah, they always looking to park their money somewhere else because they make a lot, and it makes sense to them. So
At first I thought it was just, he was just joking. And when he said, but then again, when I looked at, how I pulled it in Propstream, but he just finished his flip like it got sold December 20th.
okay,
So I'm like, so he's legit.
okay, that's good. Good stuff. I love to hear that, because that's a win. But but how you feel though? That's what I was getting toward. By you having that conversation, yeah, you said it made you nervous because it was, I guess, the price is money, but that made you feel like a win though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It made good, like, oh shoot, now you just reverse engineer it. It gives you more momentum going into this next phase of it. It's saying like, if at one point someone is going to say, hey, yeah, I want to sell, and you already know this person going to buy it, even at a good buy price, as long as you get it at a good price and it makes sense. And he may be the type that just want to park their money. Sometimes they'll buy that price at a higher price because they want to park their money and get around that tax, have a tax haven basically to get that appreciation, and then depreciation to get on their taxes and stuff. So you never know what this goal is. Oh yeah, man. Well, it's the same thing. The way we're here is because I'm talking to myself when I tell you this. Is that when I go see him, I'm gonna just start talking about what I do with anybody I do that with now. I just start talking about what I do. So while you explaining them that, and then you just ease into about how they can, making money on their return. They be truly, a lot of doctors already interested in real estate. You know what I mean? they already are. So if you can just give them a sure way of what they won't lose money, which any person that has money and wealth want to hear. They want to hear how they can make money. They just want to hear how you won't lose it, right? So you just explain that to them and just go from there. It's just like a super casual conversation like we have with everybody else. And you'll be good, definitely. So let me go from the bottom. Shantae, you got, oh, that's dope. Shantae, I remember talking to you yesterday. Shantae, what you come up with?
Hey, Chad. I went through and I started just calling some tired con landlords. They're out of Mecklenburg.
Dope.
And if they weren't interested in selling, then I just asked, if they were interested in buying. And what was unique is that I actually ran across a huge kind of investor that I'm surprised he even answered his phone at probably about 7:40 at night, and we ended up having like a 40-minute conversation. So this guy owned like the shopping center off of Beesonderry. I don't know if you're familiar with that in Charlotte.
Beesonderry?
Yeah, Beesonderry. What's important is that they just put, I guess it's in an urban area, and they just put a Chase Bank in that shopping center.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, this guy owned it, and just last year he sold to the current owner right now.
Man, I'm trying to figure, I don't talk to this person. I can't remember.
Last name is Anderson.
Yeah, me and someone else. I forgot who it was. But when you said Chase, that's how I know the area. And they black?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. So it was a great conversation. And I mean, he owns all his properties outright. No loans,
Yeah.
And with that appreciation that's hit Mecklenburg, I mean, he's open to selling them, but he's not open to selling any of his properties until the tenants have vacated it, which is understandable. He's just a good kind of like wholesome go-giver. He's given a lot of his properties to the churches, to his contractors. So I actually told him about, yourself, and he's willing to have lunch and stuff with us as well.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I'll set that up for you.
He's a very, very good person. Like from everybody, it's funny that when you say that, I say, I know that person. And I can't remember who we were first in contact with, and we were talking to him about like developments and stuff like that. And I can't remember what happened because evidently they fell away from it, right? No follow-up or whatever. But yeah, he real giving. Like that's his whole thing. Really is. He tried.
Yeah, I was super impressed with him.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. That's nice. I love to. Yeah, we can definitely set something up just to have a conversation with him. That's a good find right there. For lack of a better word, he's a different type of individual in this space. He really like a go-giver that can sum him up. He looked to basically build up the next generation to do what he do. That's him. That's why he was so open for him to pitch him that. That's how he is. Truly is. So yeah, dope. We'll definitely connect and do something with him for sure.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, good job though with taking that action. That's what it's about. Action. That's what's gonna separate you. I promise you. That right there. You do something what we call getting 1% better every day. 1%. So that means in 100 days, you 100% sharp, right? It's about trying to learn one thing every day. It's just it. Do something. Fail forward. And that's great. I love hearing stuff like that. My man, George, what you come up with, bro?
I actually connected with a hedge fund.
Oh.
And I got the buyer box and everything. He gave me all of the areas in the surrounding markets that he's doing business in. Of course, he's doing the Charlotte surrounding markets, Winston-Salem, Raleigh, Greensboro.
Nice. And they go outside of it too. Say if you don't get something in Charlotte, say, hey, I got this little county right here called Monroe or Concord. They say, oh yeah, or Huntersville, because they think major. They don't know until you say, oh yeah, and they'll get it from you too.
Yeah, I mean, and he got that and in sub, I got it under sub captions like surrounding markets. So when he said Charlotte, we
Oh.
went in and did a breakdown of surrounding markets: Concord, Kannapolis, Gastonia, Kings Mountain, China Grove, Salisbury, Statesville.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ran it down.
Yeah.
And he did the same thing for Winston-Salem, surrounding markets,
Nice.
Raleigh, surrounding markets, Greensboro, surrounding markets.
Yeah. Nice, bro. That's it. That right there. His criteria will change as you'll see. He'll go with the market and stuff like that. But for the most part, when you got deals, shoot for the moon with him. He gonna buy.
And I was able to give him, I mean, we really had a good conversation, gave me key matrix, got property tax. He wanted to do single family, duplex, triplex, quadplex, pre-existing only, no conversions from single family to multifamily.
Yeah.
Slab or conventional foundations. He wanted a key matrix ARV anywhere from 150 to 250.
Nice.
Rent rate of 0.8 to about 1% of whatever the ARV is, all in cost. He wants to stay around about 75% of the ARV, kind of like what we talked about.
Yeah.
Rehab budget, 70,000 or less.
Yeah. That's a real one.
You know, he gave me what was non-allowable rehab items, which is, you know, termites, foundation, electrical rewires. Don't really want to get deep into that. And then we just went down into, I was like, so what does that look like? Just give me a breakdown. So he gave me an ARV, for example, if an ARV was 175, purchase price 95, rehab, all, I mean, in no more about 36 to make it rent ready, all costing about 131, which is the 75%. And then, you know, rent at least about 1750, 1% rule.
They start going to that rent rate. One of them in Durham did that. Like, so what you mean? This house is beautiful. I think I showed that to y'all.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday.
But that's where they're going to rent stuff now too. That's one of their additions they started putting on.
So will we be able to get that information off Rent-A-Meter? Would that break it down for?
Yeah. You want to check Retometer, you want to check Zillow, Propstream, like compare.
Yeah.
Like which one, because you know this stuff is just estimates. The most best way you can go is a property management company and ask them, like, what was the rent rates in this area or something like that. But they want business, so you come to them like a client, you know, and that tell you property managers is one of the easiest ones to do it. But that's perfect. These two ways, especially what Shantae said, that was a good addition to finding them. Because I do the same thing when you talk to, like, you talk to a buyer or a seller, and they be like, no, I'm looking to sell none of my properties. That's the key word, none. So, oh shoot, you got plenty. So what you looking, I have inventory all the time you're looking to buy. And that's a perfect example what Shantae did. And you'll get buyers like that. And it's from that same type of list, a tire landlord list. So that was good. That's why I open this, a good thing that I have all of us collaborating like that, get out more stuff that I ain't thinking about in a moment. And you all can help each other get these different methods of pulling out like information and stuff like that. So that's dope. I love that right there. My girl Tanisha, what you come up with, T? That was a good job right there, George. I love that.
Well, hold on. My bad. I'm on my computer and my phone because I'm multitasking. So
yeah, of course.
I forgot which one I'm on. So I connected with a hedge fund also that gave me their whole buy box. They gave me actually an online site that they use to input their information, which is great. They're not even actually in my own market, which is crazy. They just pulled out of my market, so they're not here anymore, but they gave me all the other markets that they're in, which is great. And then one of them actually is one of the virtual markets that I work in, which is wonderful. I talked to, just from random conversation, I talked to one guy who then referred me to someone else because he told me he's not buying anymore, but he referred me to somebody else. And so I called them. They're a huge buyer in this area. So he gave me his whole background on where he got started, how he used to work for someone else, gave me his buy box, told me what their buy prices are they actually do use the 70% rule. And he gave me the rundown on the best way to contact them, the type of deals they don't want. They actually will buy in areas out here where a lot of people won't. And they'll buy like $1 million properties. So,
Nice.
which is great. They're, yeah, rehabbing $1 million properties. So they're like, hey, if you get anything, just shoot it my way. Let me know. I'll buy everything you have as long as the numbers work.
Great. That stuff we got me excited. I love this stuff. That's
Mhm.
it. And just the way I want everyone to share that right there to me is basically a game changer. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like man, it's no property you get, you know, you can get assigned in that area where your backyard is, you know?
Yep.
And you can eventually turn that into private money because you can be like, hey, I want to try to take this. Because that's what happens. Once you get good relationships with these buyers, they'll start doing stuff for you. You know what I mean? Because y'all have a relationship, like a true friendship type thing. So I'm excited. That's why, like, in the year when it's over with, it's gonna be dope where everybody will be at, just from the work.
Mhm.
I can tell. And that's why I want everybody to kind of share their wins to give people that motivation of, like, this stuff truly work when you just reverse engineer it. That's the only thing you're gonna be doing from this point is now you got where they want, how much they want to buy it for, and even told you where to lock it up at. So that takes the stress away. So if you use that 0.70 method, you just need to now just say manage repair and get it locked up with the seller at that. Now you know you got it sold because you already said it's 0.70 of the ARV. That right there is like the easiest thing, you know. Is now it's just talking to the sellers and getting it locked up and putting in that work. So super excited, man. I love this stuff. So everybody that didn't get an opportunity to get their information, to actually, you know, to actually share and stuff, just take this stuff as a win, you know, look at it like getting motivation. Like, this is what I need to do to capitalize and get going tomorrow. Because by, like I say, by the end of this week, we should be at the point of like contacting and doing things like that live. When I, you know, try to go live, because we've been and got to the gist. The rest is just tweaking. I ain't getting too deep into the woods with like a ton of systems and all of that stuff. It's just that the grassroots, that's what we on right here. So cool. So we're gonna get over to the sellers. Since we already got the buyers, we got the criteria, we got the purchase price, we got everything they need. Some of the same places where you went and found that buyer, now you find the sellers. And my first one is what the method Shantae used. You go to gosection8.com and the entire landlords, everybody on there is saying, hey, I'm ready to rent, right? Or they have a renter inside of the house. And you'll notice some of your tired landlords right now, they want to get out of that. They tired of, perfect example is this contract I sent out today is a tired landlord. He's an Army guy. I think he's an Army, yeah. But he don't want the property no more. He literally just let me give him, basically, it's like a finder's fee, basically. And his house, I just take over subject to house and then rent it out to the tenants inside. So I immediately start cash flowing like $300, $400 a month from that. So I'm giving him like 3,000. That's all he literally wanted. I didn't even argue with him. I started to argue with him just to go down because I'm like, why I'm giving you some money? That's kind of, I know that sounds like impersonable, but you don't want to just always go off of what a seller say because it makes them have seller's remorse. That start being like, no, that was too quick. So they get to overthinking it and thinking that they didn't make a good decision. So, but he said $3,000 and it wasn't making sense at first because I'm thinking I had to catch up something. That's one reason why I was like, well, I'm giving you that. And you basically about to lose it, but that wasn't the case. So at any rate, he's a tired landlord and it wasn't Go Section. Well, I didn't get him from Go Section 8, but the thing is he do have a tenant that's kind of on this Section 8 type program. So it kind of works out. So that means it's automatic money. And I encourage, well, I ain't gonna say encourage y'all, but a good method is when you get properties, if you put them on the Section 8 in a good type of area, you have automatic money. So imagine when everybody wasn't paying during the pandemic, the people that had their houses on the Section 8 was getting a steady check. Government paid like clockwork. So that's a good way to think when you are going after these properties and these sellers. When you want to hold and put them in, if you up for being a landlord, then yeah. And what's another? Go Section 8, of course, got tired landlords. Zillow, right? I don't have Zillow on, but I'm trying to think of everything. Zillow too, when you go to Zillow and you see them rentals and you see them fix and flip and stuff like that. So how do you pull the sellers list and go? Oh, you just go on there, Jill. Just type in, you can do it now. Type in gosection8.com and it's gonna ask you for an area. And then once you go in the area, you're gonna see every property that's in that area under Section 8, if they have Section 8 in that area. And then from there, you just write their name and number down and call them. They got the addresses, everything, literally right there. You wanna ask something, T?
No, I was gonna say the same thing, like the Go Section 8 site literally tells you everything. It gives you their name, their phone number. It gives you literally everything.
Okay, yep.
I'm on
definitely.
it, but I don't see it. I don't see that link. I mean, I'm on Go Section 8 right now, but all I see is affordablehousing.com. Am I on the right spot?
That might be another one. It's gosection8.com, what I'm thinking about. They probably got something called affordablehouses.com too. I've never been there.
They changed the name.
Oh, did they? Dope. See, I gotta update my little card right here. Cause it's all affordablehousing.com. I'm gonna have to update that. Nice. Cause I haven't been on there in so long, but I found a buyer from there before. I mean a tire landlord on it before. It's been like a long time when I first known about this technique. So it's called affordablehouses.com.
Yeah, all I see here is list your property, find affordable rentals, why use us.
Yeah.
You can
Affordable.
click on the actual property itself, and then it will, so you can put in your zip code for whatever area you're looking for, and then you can click on the actual properties and it tells you the information on the landlords, the property address, all that stuff.
All right. And that link is in the chat that y'all see right there, affordable housing that Tanisha put in there. That's pretty dope. And that's exactly it. So you go there, they change it, like you said, to go Section 8. That's why I'm glad everybody participating. Collaboration definitely helps. So whatever was that? So yeah, affordable housing. And yeah, you got to go in jail and put in the criteria. Like some cities don't have it. You think it's everywhere, but it's not. Some won't have it. And it'll come up blank. If it's blank, it just means they don't have Section 8 in the area. Just got to go somewhere else. And you'll see everybody got their name, number, how many houses. You start seeing their name up under all these different houses that they own. And it's pretty dope. It's really a way to, like I say, use the same thing Shantae did, the buyers. If you don't want to sell, ask them about being your buyer. Zillow, I was just saying that one, you can be looking for one that says for sale. I mean, the saying for rent. And those are, property owners and tired landlords, basically. You asking them, you're going through the same script of like, hey, how can I, if they're interested in selling their property, the same spiel that we use to when we marketing the sellers. Once again, the pre-foreclosures at the courthouse. One thing about the pre-foreclosure, I'm gonna tell you about that process though, they have a trustee, right? That trustee is basically the lawyer. So you call them, they sometimes depends on the actual gatekeeper, that paralegal to answer the phone. They would give you that seller's name. They would never give you their number. If they do, that's a kudos to you if you do get it from them like that. They wouldn't give me their number. I was like, oh yeah, I would be like, yeah, I can get it. But they give me all the other information, like, well, I don't want to give you the number, but this is their name. And I already had their name. And then I think one time they did. They gave me I got a good relationship with this one lawyer, and he gave me contact information, but I had to track everybody else down just from that one person. So they will, someone won't, but if they don't, just still do some deep dive. And like I say, I think I meant to look up that data. I think it's called IDI or LDL data. They give you like all data to skip trace, like their cousins, their aunts, and all of that stuff that's attached to that seller's name. And I know Skip Matrix, this does too. I think another one is called Skip Genie. I think that's one too. I think these two give you the same type of stuff. It'll give you I think, but the LDL, I think I'm gonna find out what that is. I'm gonna make a note. Let me make it on my phone of finding that data company. I just found out about them. They do deep dives and stuff. LDL data. I think that's what it's called. But I find out tomorrow exactly what it is. All right, and tax offices, of course, for any type of tax delinquent properties and their county website. All of these places that you can find like free leads, right? The newspaper, like the newspaper sometimes have for sale by owners in it. They have rentals in it. They have even estate sales. Oh man, it's oh shoot, that's it. IDI, that data right there is like deep dive into the data. And I think it ain't really expensive. I think it's like 14 cents once you buy in bulk like that. It's like really good. I just heard about them. IDI, that's it. So what is that? I think it's called estatesales.com, something like that. Is you literally can go on and find estate sales. So if you having an estate sale, you know, basically they selling his house, they clearing it out for free. Funny thing, I just told a lady, and when we get to talking to sellers, I think we can try to mention a little here. When you talk to a seller, you want to be always lead with value, right? Like overload. I'm always, like I'm naturally trying to give so they don't come off as different, you know? But one way I asked this lady, like she was talking about, hey, we cleaning out a house, you know, we got a refrigerator. I said, you know, one way you can get paid free clean out, you literally just put your house up on Facebook Marketplace and saying I'm having an estate sale of these items sold inside of it. So people gonna literally just come buying all your properties and cleaning it out. You're killing two birds with one stone. And she was so elated with that because they don't think like that. They don't think like us in terms of all the services we can provide. It's just like when you try to go get relationships with attorneys or other companies, you come to them on how you can help what they have going on. If it's a probate attorney, for example, you're saying I provide this service, right? If it's some type of long care person, you saying, hey, I'm an investor, I do, I come across multiple properties that's distressed, and I've been needing people to come in, you know, get them tidied up and cleaned up for me before I list them or renovate them after I'm done. Is that may be something you're interested in? They say, yeah. I said, oh, perfect. Anytime you come across some properties while you out, or you talk to sellers with these homeowners, you mind passing off the information if they may be interested in selling. So you led with value, but in turn, they start sending you properties and all this stuff because they're a long care service. They be out and riding about all the time. So you got a person that's doing driving for dollars to you for free. You're not even paying a team, right? To even drive for dollars. So it's just about you lead with value, mail carriers, definitely. You lead with values on stuff. Definitely just lead with what you want, what you can give. And then in turn, there are a lot of times we're looking to help you out as well. Did anybody else got any free leads that they can think of that we possibly didn't go over? It's okay. You can even unmute yourself. I don't even know how to block y'all right now. Y'all pretty good. I don't need to block you.
So on the, I have one. Oh, go ahead, Lisa.
No, go ahead. Wait.
So I pull, and I know this may be outside of the scope of just some, you know, I pull free foreclosures, information on estate and tax sales. But depending on what state you're in, if you go to a site called Public Notice, like mine is Virginia, it's publicnoticevirginia.com, or for North Carolina, it's Public Notice NC. I think it's that one, publicnoticenc.com. It's a conglomeration of all of the newspaper publications for the state that tells you all the stuff that has to be made public. Like if there's a tax sale, they have to tell you, they have to put it in the newspaper. So like the one for North Carolina, it's actually called ncnotices.com. I'll put that in there because I know that's where you are, Chad. Under that website, it gives you the option to choose types of properties like unclaimed properties, architecture, demos, I mean, anything that they have to put public notices on. So I use these specifically for foreclosures. But again, depending on the state that you're in, they give you a ton of information, like again, tax things that are under tax sale, etc. So this is one site where you can literally see everything that is set for some type of foreclosure or even estate sales. If you put foreclosure, you can put your county, your city, the date range, all of that stuff, and then just pull the addresses and go skip trace them.
Nice. Invaluable information. And if everybody don't capture all of that, when I can upload this stuff, you can go back and watch it later. But that's like good stuff. And the key to it, what she was speaking about as well, is that it's just the work, just doing this little bit of work and putting forth the effort. And this stuff is literally out here because this is literally the stuff we pay for. This is where they get it from, right? It's literally where they get it from. We paying for convenience and structure when we going and paying for this stuff. It's actually like a time. It's like speeding up our time of actually deep diving, just like a mentorship. You pay for the structure and this leadership, but the information is already out there for free. That's all it is. Well, in our case, we're paying for community too. That's something you can't get on your own. So you come into mentorships to get the leadership, the information, and the community, which is definitely the best thing when it comes to me, not the one-on-one thing. So nice, nice, nice. Love that. What did you have, Lisa? You had something too?
Yes, hi. I used the home investors list that Pace gave us.
Oh, is it a free way of finding sellers?
Yeah, it's buyers. I'm sorry. It's buyers.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, we switched off from buyer to seller. But yeah, that's the
Okay.
that's the way I'm getting it to. It's not a free thing, and we ain't I'm not intertwining where we come from, if that makes sense. So just keep it like, if you notice I ain't talking and saying certain stuff or mentioning certain people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm doing that for
But there's no fee, there's no cost for that.
No, but they don't have access to that. They can't
Who
get
doesn't have that?
nobody on here but me, you, and Tanisha. And that's it. So
Okay.
yeah. So I'm not saying nowhere
Got
where we
it.
come from. None of that.
Okay.
Nowhere, like everybody here is in different.
Okay.
George is affiliated with someone else too.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, we're not saying none of that stuff. This is
My bad.
totally. Oh, you fine? Yeah, this is a totally different thing right here.
Okay.
Perfect. You muted? I muted. You muted? Oh, gotcha. Oh, you muted, Manuel? What happened? I muted to make a call. What happened?
He muted us so that he can make a call. So he's trying to figure out what he missed.
We just went back and gotcha. We just went back on talking about sellers, the free ways to get them, such as taxes. Hold on, I can go back for you. But you can we just talked about taxes, free ways to get it. And I'm gonna put this on my YouTube. That's pretty cool. I can say YouTube page. I'm just joking, y'all. I'm just joking. But I ain't gonna put that on there though. I'm gonna put that on there. Cool. So that's the free stuff. And the only thing, like I said, the free stuff is just basically you putting in a little work and a little intuitive, a little grit into it. But I think you'll start appreciating it more too. It helps me to do it when I was like that. It helps me like to really appreciate the grind. I just like to get into it. So all these different places, and you can actually have someone helping you and just pay them off commission when you don't have the money for it. Just paying commission. Whenever they get a deal, hey, this is the percentage that you'll get. It's what I will get from it.
Hey, Chuck.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. No, I was just asking about that last part where you said this is something completely different. This just Tanisha, myself. Like, what was that referencing? I missed that part.
Yeah, don't worry about it, bro. It's
Oh
cool.
man, come on.
No, don't worry about it. Trust me. I talk to you later. It's got nothing to do with nothing. Just that's got nothing to do with what we're doing right. Trust me. Yeah,
Right.
you ain't missed nothing. Nothing at all.
Oh man.
Yeah, you good. Okay, so cool. Yo, we're back on track. For everybody that's here, let me say that because I don't want to be like it's some type of secret society. Like what I'm trying to do for myself and everybody here is show you wholesaling on this level coming from what I know, right? I'm not trying to bring in no outside stuff in terms of people, if that makes sense. So what she was referring to, well, my good friend Lisa, was something that only me, Tanisha, Manuel, I forgot he was here, is privy to. She can't share that with you. You know what I mean? So, and it's out there, it's nothing you would actually, when you get into them too, they kind of lower price. You'll figure that out as you start messing with that list more. But that ain't it's okay, but it ain't better than what you can get from what Tanisha has talked about, Shantae talked about, George talked. Is nowhere near that level of what they just got from there. I promise you. So that's what I mean by I'm bringing it in stuff that's not from nowhere outside sources or mentorships or people influence or nothing like that. This is just us starting our thing, and I ain't bringing in none of that stuff because for one, you can't. It's inappropriate to. I would never disrespect something that I feel that's brought me where this benefit. I'm not never doing that. So this stuff here is just from what I know and what I can share freely and everything, you know. So that's just it. It's we sign, even with other mentorships, you sign NCNDAs. Even though you can break them, like that's not really a thing. But it's just about, for me, I'm trustworthy. I'm gonna stand on my word. And that's, I gave my word on a lot of stuff. So I try to the best of my ability. Let me say it like that. So yeah, you ain't missed nothing, Manuel. You good, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get you. I'm gonna have to put you on lock. I'm gotta figure it out. I'm gonna have to figure out how to shut it down. Now I'm just joking. Oh. All right, so cool. So I'm gonna get to the paid versions, is what we had yesterday, Propstream and batch. This one is batch, what I showed you from. I found that little thing that they gave for it. Like they say, they be disrespecting me right now, but it's okay with the long stuff. But it's a good thing. I use them just for skip tracing and things like that. I really do. I don't use them for finding buyers. Because you use them for finding buyers, it's a higher price thing. And I don't think it's better than Propstream, in my own personal opinion, from what I use. You may have something different because everybody got their preference. So I'm not saying one software is better than another one. I'm saying I like Propstream. I've been with Propstream. They're doing what I need to do. I use that in conjunction with Zillow and Redfin and Realtor and all these other places when I'm doing deep diving into stuff. But it's basically a preference. It truly is. Both of them is great. I love literally both of them. I just use Propstream for pulling lists. And I can show you that. So what I'm gonna do today, let me see what this next. I'm looking at a PowerPoint, y'all. I'm trying to like, somebody made this PowerPoint. It's kind of weird, but okay. Okay, perfect. Because the next slide is skip tracing. That's what I thought we was getting to. It just makes sense in my head. I just wanted to make sure. So for right now, I'm gonna get into Propstream. Oh, y'all can't see my screen. 1 second. And I'm gonna show y'all how to filter lists. That's why I want everybody to be ready to start filtering, to start what we're about to do. So Erskine, you still on here? I don't guess you're on here.
Yeah.
Oh, you is dope. Did you download the thing yet?
Yeah, I'm driving at the moment, but I'm
Oh,
getting ready to do it as soon as I
Don't worry. Don't worry. Yeah, don't worry, bro. I just didn't want to make sure I was leaving. I want you. This part is where we get interesting. And the cool part is that I'm gonna be having people share their inputs and everything. Remember, it's collaboration over competition. Nobody's above nobody. We all on the same plane. We all getting to it. This is that property right here, y'all. Matter of fact, no, not. What zip code that y'all want to pull something from? Let's pull, I don't know. Let me say Mecklenburg. I can just say Iredale. Iredale. Cool. I'm just pull the whole county. So now, what's going on right there? That don't make sense. Did I hit something? Why is it saying one property? One property. Let me see.
Do you still have
Oh,
your filters in for cash buyers?
I know what happened. I got it saying Iredell, North Carolina, and then I don't even know where Iredell, North Carolina is. I meant to put county. I've never heard of Iredell, North Carolina, like a city. It's a lot of little cities I done found out there's really like, yo, lot of activity in this state. Okay, so Iredell County, you can see it's all of this stuff. This turns into like, I think it is Iredell County, or is it Catawba? Don't worry about that, it's gonna be confusing. But I'm gonna go to sellers. So since we on the thing of why I like Propstream, this is one of them. They have tired landlord filter in here, right? Tired landlord is basically what we spoke about in terms of when a property owner has properties, they don't have to have a lot of them. They can have 2 or 3, and they can be just tired of being an owner of them. They're getting older. They want to cash out. Some of them I see now just rolling their money over into like bigger deals, land development and stuff like that. So that's one of the things I'm seeing them do. So when you filter in this list, a tired landlord, it's a separate thing that you want to think about. And the most important thing is, okay, I'm gonna do an interaction thing. Interactive. I like this stuff. Interactive. Let me stop sharing this screen for a second so I can see my chat. I'm at work, I got a lot for it. Okay, that's cool, Johnny. You good, bro? Oh shoot, that's direct. I didn't mean to say it outside. But what would be with a tired landlord, right? When you stacking a list, everybody that when I say stacking a list, that means that when you market to a seller, the number one thing in my eyes is motivation, right? The number one thing that I have everybody to talk to is one of my cold callers. They got their own little style, and some of them do start off with condition, but I tell them, in my eyes, motivation is the key, and it helps you get off of that conversation quick, really, really fast if they ain't motivated. You want to disqualify them, what I call disqualifying the seller, disqualifying them, getting them out of there, so you can keep going on down the list. Because remember, it's 100 of you that's calling the same list and trying to get in contact with these same people. So it's about you timing, it's about your consistency. I think the most important thing, consistency just rewards you. You get rewarded from being consistent, and that's when you get in contracts and doing all these things, casting a wide net. Like I don't hear people casting, they marketing everywhere. They don't be getting that traction like that. And I think it's the comfortability of it and not really digging deep into it, you know? So I would say being consistent. And one way you can be consistent is just doing something every day for whatever hours or whatever. But back to what I was saying, a tired landlord, when you stacking a list, you're hunting for pain points, right? You basically think of, okay, let me go back to this list. When you build it, I'm saying this for like really basic, y'all, so don't kill me for my experienced people. But don't question me for this, but I'm just trying to stay super basic. So when you go right here, right, I'm gonna build out a problem, right? If I'm building out this list, I know what type of list that I'm creating, so I'm basically know what types of things to say in the conversation even. And I even use Propstream for that too. And we'll get into that. I hope I remember it, but I'm pretty sure I will. When we get to like giving you tips on how to navigate calls that's not motivated, not too motivated, and those sellers that are highly motivated, we'll talk about that too. But in this instance, when you stacking this list, we adding in different pain points. So if it's a tired landlord, you don't want it to be owner occupied, meaning that he have a renter. That renter is not the actual owner, the tired landlord is. So if you was door knocking mean that you going around literally knocking on doors and asking people if they want to sell. You wouldn't door knock a tired landlord because the person that answering that door isn't the owner, it's the actual renter. You want to pull a list of pre-foreclosures. We're going to get into all the different types of lists. I don't know how far we will, but you'll get it. Well, we already went over pre-foreclosure, so. But anyway, you want to go knock on a pre-foreclosure list because you know that for one, that's the owner inside of it, and you know they have a level of pain. But when you knock that door, you're not saying, hey, you want to sell your property. You wouldn't do that. You go down of how to become a problem solver. And once again, we're gonna get into that when we get to talking about calls. But for this list, tired landlords is you want to be non-owner occupied, right? Not any. We'll get to an any filter. Vacancy or occupied, truly don't matter. I keep this on. I say any, because a lot of times tired landlords want to sell their properties that has tenants in them. And a lot of times they sell in properties when they vacant. And then Propstream vacant just means a lot of times, it don't have to be some super distressed weeds everywhere type house. It just that means mail is coming there and it keeps coming back to the post office. It's non-deliverable. Something is not receiving mail, because you know Propstream ain't flying all over the world and seeing vacant properties or satellites, and look, they ain't doing that. They just use their software with the post office in conjunction with them. It's some old techie stuff, and they know when things are basically getting kicked back to the post office through their software. So I say any. You can have your preference for if you want to say just tackle just vacant, because if you do say vacant, right? Remember stacking. So that's 2 pain points. It's vacant, meaning the stuff is getting kicked back, and it's non-owner occupied. I'm gonna tell you why that non-owner occupied is a stack pain point in 1 second. As is right now, it isn't a pain point. It just means you don't stay there. It's not a pain point right now, but it can be as we go down this checklist. So I'm gonna make this vacant. So we got 1 pain, 1 possibility, not so much as pain, possibility. Property characteristics. If once again, while I like Propstream, you can basically go off of anything you want. And eventually some of y'all gonna start wholesaling commercial office, agriculture, farm. I know someone that sells barn, wholesale a barn before. Like I ain't think that was a thing, but he wholesaled a barn. Transportation, that's a car. So I don't know, is that a car? I have no idea what transportation is. I had to ask him about that. I'm assuming that, I don't know, I ain't gonna even try to work my brain. I don't even go down there for that. But vacant land is something you can add on to. For this one, we're not gonna tackle land or nothing, but whenever you are ready, you can actually check that and just go off for all land. I know people they filter for that too. I necessarily don't. I just get land from buyers I'm going after the actual property, and they give me a vacant land off of. I get it from like that. So this is, we're gonna go off a single family. I do check all of these except this one. I know Jail, you said someone that's want bigger properties, so definitely check this last box. Just for this one, I'm going off a traditional investor that's, you know, a condo, townhouse, multifamily type of person. And so that's basically what we're using for a tired landlord, one who owns 2 to 4 units, which is duplex or quadruplex or triplex, and condo and townhouse and single family. Not in any of these down here, but you can, whenever you're ready, you can just filter them. You can jump and get into those 2. Now, this can be a stack. Well, no, not for this one. I'm gonna get to this list and show you how this can be a stack. Hopefully I got time. Yeah, I got like 40 minutes. So this one I'm just leave blank. I don't worry about none of this, because remember, going off of tired landlords. I don't need to go to year bill unless remember you got your buyer who has told you what they like, what year, what make, what everything. So this is where you would filter that at for them, because now you're going off the sellers to find the sellers to fit that criteria that they've given you. So when you, all the information you got from your buyers, just filter it down in here. If they like 3-bedroom only, or 2-bedroom, or what they like to stay in a certain square footage, if they like to stay in a certain year bill. If they just like, well, I ain't never known nobody just like 1 story, 2 stories, so I ain't gonna paint that false picture. MLS status. Everything is off market, right? This is not a pain point. This is just a list stack right here. I mean, it's not a stack, it's just a filter in a list. We are going off of motivated sellers, highly motivated, or not even highly motivated, motivated sellers, off-market properties, quality leads. That's the 3 things or points in mind you want to have for the basic stuff. Everything else just adds on to that. So off market, and you can, once again, go off of on market properties is a technique that when you utilizing realtors, which you're not going to get that far in the weeds right there, but you can talk to realtors and get the same types of deals. You just have the realtor call them up and say, hey, do you get any type of these types of properties that you have in mind? And then start sending you properties. You can cut them into, say, half of the wholesale deal, giving them part of the ton of stuff. I don't want to confuse you. But this right here, just go for on off market. Don't worry about MLS status because remember you just checked no, not on market, and this means that it's listing active on the MLS. It's contingent on the offer that they received, and it's got a pending contract on it. So active, just that it's on the market. It's listed contingent on the offer. If you're going to accept it, pending, it's been accepted, seeing if it's going to go through. That's basically what that means. If I'm wrong, like somebody, you definitely can correct. Okay, listing below, none of this stuff. Don't worry about none of this stuff left with certain filters, right? And I think we're going to spend like part of tomorrow too, because these different stuff right here, I can filter, I will filter all of these different, every last one of them. Well, not every last one, but all of them gonna have a ton of different stuff going on with it because of the type of person. But for a tired landlord, this is what I want. He got properties that's not listed. They're all off the market, he or she. So if I say he, don't think I'm just saying a dude or something. Pre-foreclosures, we ain't going off of that. That's a totally separate list. Remember, this is tired landlords. We don't want, you can stack a pre-foreclosure with a tired landlord though. You really can't. Hold on, let me see if I can see it. Transportation. Okay, let me put this right here. Okay, pre-foreclosures, you can stack against the tired landlord because you can have properties that's going to pre-foreclosure due to COVID. And he may have failed on bad times because he wasn't getting paid. And you don't know, it's a ton of stuff happening during COVID. So you could stack it for this list. Now let me see something if it changes. Let me see if this number changed. I can't see none of this stuff. I can't see the side of it. This stuff, notice the default list pendings is just Latin. I think it's Latin for, it just means pending lien, basically, like foreclosure. Something about to happen to this house. Let me see if I check auctions. Nothing happens if I check this. Nothing happens. Exclude, well, I don't want to exclude it. Don't worry about that. So yeah, leave that alone. You see how I kept taking it down to 0. Let me see how many we got. Oh, we just got 274 anyway. Cool. That's good. That's good. Good. Years of ownership. Now you can put 7 years, but that's typically when you're going off for a person that's in the house, not a tired landlord. Like a person that stays in a house, traditionally, they say the average is like 6 or 7 years that a person moves. But this is a tired landlord, right? So I would put some type of years on it because what's the odds if he just bought it last year that he want to sell right now? Because who's going to buy in a pandemic and then sell once the pandemic is still going on? Like it's kind of crazy, right? So I still would put something up here. You can put 5, you can put 7. You can basically put the numbers in. I wouldn't put 1 or I wouldn't put 2 because I want this landlord to be basically tired. So you can put 10. You put 10, that just means he's just he held these property for a longer time. He may be highly inclined to sell. So that can be one way of you are sifting through it and stacking the list and getting pain out of it, right? So you can say 10. So, but if you say 10, and what did it come down to? I can't see. 257. Did it change? I don't even know. Say 10 years of ownership. So you know, okay, that's kind of, he may be kind of tired. At 20 years, you know he exhausted if he ready to sell. He been, you know, he been running for a long time. So at least 10 years. And individual and corporate, once again, because I don't know why it takes it out when it does that. I guess because of a trust. I don't like the reason why I don't like mixed or trust, because these jokers be cloaked. They like hidden behind layers of like legalese when it comes to stuff. And I don't go after them. I know some people that do, I just don't, you know, but you can, and you can get trust because we get trust. We get people to have their stuff in the trust that they're looking to sell. But we didn't initially go look for I didn't, I'm speaking for me. I didn't initially go look for a trust. I just pulled a regular list, and just so happened this property was in the trust, and I got in contact with the actual person who have executive power over it. So I never checked this box because they kind of always fall within this individual and corporate stuff, you know, but it looked like it took like 6 of these out whenever I didn't check them. So if you wanted to put them on to try it out, that's perfectly fine. But just for this right here, I'm not. So for number of properties on. Now this is your own preference. Like you can put 3 because I wanted to be a tired landlord. So I want something on there. But if you want to go higher, like say he got 10. So the beautiful part is if this person say, yeah, he want to sell, you know, at least he got 10 more properties. That's the beautiful part of this, right? It's super, super dope. That's how I think. When I know this certain list and what type of criteria is on it, I'm like, yo, if he want to sell, I already know he got more than 1 property. And if he sound like he's super tired, oh, you would know by the conversation, like they just want to get out of the property. I'm gonna start pitching for these other properties too, automatically. I'm gonna go over there and try to hit those while I'm talking to him. So if I put 10, let's see what come up, see what's happening. 63. Okay, the cool. I was about to say you can make this into a niche list, but really like you can call this person. When I say niche, you can call, text, send direct mail, do a ringless voicemail. Even if you get their email address, send them an email. You want to attack them from all different angles because it's just such a small list, right? You can be the one to try to get in front of their face with consistency and everything aligning up with what it is with your company. So your company's name is being brought to him from all angles, from what he can see when he reading his texts, from his emails, to what he can hear when he's hearing you calling, leaving voicemails, when you ringing the voicemail, when you calling them and actually someone speaking to him. So you can leave that on there, or to get more properties out of it, just take it off. Well, right, just take this down to say 5, you know? You don't have to be that deep, you know? Or if you want them all, you know? If you want to be 1, if you want to go off a person who just got 1 property, but he owned it for 10 years, you know? Ain't no harm in going out there. It just, you know, this is still a small list just for this area. So it still works. So I don't gotta filter it. I was just showing you all that just to show you like, hey, this is what you can do to make it. If you get someone interested, you know they got a ton of properties inside of it, you know, and you can go after the rest of them. Now this is another stack though, right? Remember I said, being that it's non-owner occupied, it doesn't make it a stack, like a pain point. What makes it a stack is if he out of state. So imagine you out of state and you got this property that's way in, you in New York, but you got a property in North Carolina or California, or wherever, it don't matter. It can be in New Jersey, say somewhere else. You just out of state, right? And you can't get back and forth. You start of hearing the property manager complaining about it. You ought to keep in contact with it when stuff happens. You got to fly down when you really want to see what's going on with the property. That takes you away from your area and from just your day-to-day. Because a lot of landlords, you'll figure out they like the radius. They like to stay within a certain radius. So this has become a pain point. I say out of state. So let's see what all this filtered to. Just 26 of them. But you better believe that this 26 is one of the ones you want to do that list to, that targeting, like really hitting all of them. You know what I mean? And let me go back. What was that? Right here. So you say that. So you can do this as a niche list. Then you can take it out and keep this as the main list. Just like you did with the number of property you own. You can have different or the same list, but niche them down to, you know, you're going to send these direct mail. And that just means going to the Dollar Tree or should we call it $1.25? It ain't even a Dollar Tree no more. But anyway, you go to the Dollar Tree and just get a pack of what is it? Postcards, and just handwrite them because they know it's a real person, right? You just handwrite the note and put it in some letters and send it out, right? That because my mind state is my whole mindset is telling you how to do stuff for not a high cost, because they direct mail through all these software people and all that, it costs money. It'll get expensive. That's why here people don't do it, because it gets expensive. So this is one way you can just make it cheaper and do the same thing. You get the same, just like door knocking. When you go double knock a door pre-foreclosure, you use a sticky note. You just write on a note and just stamp it on the door. And that's it. And they see it and I truly call you back. You know, it ain't that deep. So out of state, or you can say out of county, right? This ain't too much of a stack though, just by the way. I never use this out of county. I'm just doing this for this video. I never use that. It don't make sense. I would do out of state, but not out of county. I mean, or local. Why I want everybody local. That's already on this list right here. All right. So valuation and equity. The reason why you want equity in the deal is that you'll be able to wholesale it, right? And let me see if I can do something super simple in this chat real quick. And not to take you too far in the weeds. Okay, I can just say it. I'm gonna just say it. It's 40. I ain't gonna go that far yet. Say you got a property got 100,000, it's worth $100,000 on the market, right? So when you hear terms like, for the people, once again, this is more newer. When you hear terms like after repair value or after we verify, it's another term, on market value or something people say, or when it's listed and fully rehabbed and you can put it on the market, this is what it'll sell for. We call that the ARV, right? So if you got the ARV at $100,000, they have a mortgage of, yeah, perfect. And you have, say, $80,000 or $80,000 mortgage, and the house is only worth $100,000, but they saying they want to sell that property. You can't wholesale it, right? The reason why, because it doesn't have equity in it. The only way you can have equity in it, and just to show you, I think I'm gonna have to type this out because I truly don't know how to say it without letting you see it. And it's 80,000, right? So let me do it like this. Perfect. So if I say, I'm gonna do a formula. Okay, I'm gonna take Tanisha's formula. Her buyers like to buy at 70%. It's different formulas, and I'm gonna try to give you as many. I'm gonna tell you why I use different formulas. And from just this example, no, I ain't gonna. Shoot, I'm trying not to be all over the place. I'm really trying to stay just on sales. But if I say this right here, 100,000 times 70, what's that? 70,000? I think it is. I have to use it now. Okay, perfect. I knew it, right? I don't want nobody talking about it. Okay, that's 70,000, right? Already, right? If you got 70,000, yeah, that's super easy. 100,000 times 0.70 is 70,000. Remember, you're trying to make money, right? So your assignment fee is 10,000, right? So that 60,000, 10 times 10 is that is what you call your maximal allowable offer. That 60,000 is your maximal allowable offer you can give to the seller in order to make 10,000. So if she say, no, I want my house sold, I would like to sell my house for 65,000, that only means that you're gonna make a $5,000 assignment fee. And this $10,000 represents assignment fee, and we'll get into that. I'm gonna make sure I have some type of terms or something. I don't think everybody that new, but if you are, it's okay. We'll get you there. Maybe I need to ask that. No, Manuel. That 70%, did I do repairs? No. The 70% represents 10% buyer's profit, 10% closing costs, repairs, closing costs, agent costs, and that 10% represent the repairs. That's why you say 0.7. You know what I mean? So that's 60,000. It comes to 60,000. She have a mortgage of 80,000. So if you bring 60,000 to the table, she basically got to bring 20,000 to the table just to sell her home, their own house, the seller's house. So that's why it don't work. You have to have equity in the deal, and you want to have a minimum of at least 30% equity in this deal, minimum, right? If you want to go a little higher, you can go to like 40 or 35. Hey, break down, what's going on? You want to go to like 35%, right? Hold up. Yeah, we're going for sellers. Like I said, we're looking for buyers. So yeah, 35%. And we'll get in if you, I'm not getting into creative, so I'm not filtering for that. But this is a wholesale cash deal. You want at least 30, 35%. When you get to 46%, it just means it has high equity. And that's what these other filters will do for you up here. And I still come down here and filter too, though. But you get real high equity with it. All right. So that, I hope that makes sense for everybody. Oh yeah, now if they do the repairs amount, they really getting deep into your pocket. And that's why that 70% formula don't work, Tanisha. That's why it don't work in this day and age, because when you go to the selling, you get that real deep price like that, they're gonna be like, no way. Because they know, for one, what the market is going for. Like that 10% literally supposed to represent, because what else is that 10% there for? You know, you can do 100,000 times 0.90, right? When you do that, that's 90,000. That 10% represents 3 sellers agents, 3 buyers agents, 2 or 1% closing costs, and 2% for contingencies, like anything that may go on for this property while we're doing the fix and flip. Now from there, you just do 10% of that ARV that they like to make. So if it's 100,000, they want to make 10,000. I don't know, nobody want to make 10,000, but sometimes it be them types of quick, easy flips. So say he only want to make 10,000, right? So now it comes to 80. Now you got to factor in the repairs, and then you factor into your assignment fee, and that's your MAO. But when you're doing that 70 plus repairs, that's literally, you might as well say 65%. Just go to 0.65, you know, and then that's the price that they buy at. And that's truly, like when they say repair, like I wasn't getting nothing when I did that, literally, because I was too low and I didn't know. Yeah. It's like, okay, a perfect way, like for that method right there, Tanisha, just the people, I'm just looking at your name, Tanisha. But when you have a lot of stuff going on with a property, you can do like, go 60% under. If it's a bad area, don't appreciate bad, go 40, 50%, right? It'll go 40, 50% of the ARV. And that's a good price that you can offer that seller without even thinking of all these formulas, right? You can just say, and when you break it down on paper, you'll see you're always close to that number. The cool thing though, is that if you was to get it, say a seller accept it, right? The 70% minor repair. Now you can do the other formula of the more, exact formula of ARV times 0.93 times whatever the investor would like to make, the fix and flipper, and then just take a little off too for any type of contingencies, and then your assignment fee, and you'll see that number is always higher in maximum allowable offer number, is always higher than that 70% number. So that's what I do. Is I always use like that lower formula when I'm getting one to offer, and if they accepted that formula, I use the higher number when it comes to when I'm about to sell it to the end buyer, not this 70% rule, because now it's just gonna make my assignment fee higher. I hope that makes sense. Hopefully I can show y'all that later and show you exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, as a matter of fact, I can just show it to you. Like we just did now in the 60% one, right? So check it out. If I was to do this formula, say I was to do this formula right here, and I say times 0.93 minus, I'm gonna just say 15,000. I'm gonna say 10,000, just whatever. 10,000 that the investor like to make minus 10,000 in repairs minus 93, investor want to make 10,000 repairs minus what I would want to make 10,000, and then just say just put minus 5,000 for something, just anything that's happening, right? So let me do that real quick. So if I say 100,000 times 3 minus 10, 20, 30 minus 5, it comes to like 58. See, that way we went deeper. It's at 58,000. But if you do what you did, 70%, and then add in the repairs of it, it jumped to 60, so it's kind of close. And that route is kind of close if we just do 10,000 in repairs. But you'll notice sometimes it's like really, really away from what that number should be. It's like super lower than it. It's like probably like 5, sometimes it's more. I did one, like the one I'm doing now, it's giving me 39 for the initial, but if I do like the wholesale or this formula here, it shoots up by like 5 or 10,000. I can't remember. I just was doing it before I got on this Zoom. So I use different formulas while I'm doing my MAO, and then when they accept according to what formula, I use another one because all of them really is the same. It's just about which buyer, would it make sense to this buyer. That's why you want to have a robust buyers list, because it allows you to now just go which one fits it, what it'll fit, and where you can know you can make some money at it. You know, and sometimes you don't want to get into a bid. I mean, I can't tell you what to do. But when you get into stuff like, you know, a highest and best to offer to buyers that you really, really, truly got a relationship with, it'll kind of, you know, not make the relationship so good that make it, you know, make it make sense. It don't. Let me see what they say. So we should really have this. No, you can, but if you do, you just know you're going real deep. It depends on the formula. It truly do. Like when that 0.70 formula is supposedly supposed to have that repair price in it. Because what is the 10% for? You saying you want to make 20% return? You know, that's basically what they're telling you. You want to make 20%. If they saying 30, if you want me to take 30% off the ARV, you want to make at least 20%. Because 10% is 10. If it's a 10,000, you basically saying it's 10,000 in repair. If you're saying 70% off 100,000, you're saying you're putting 10,000 into this house. If it's way more than that, you have to drop that. It don't be 0.70 no more. It goes down a little more. It goes to like 0.60. It goes, and even like with this market, they paying a little higher. So in this market is paying a little higher, so it gets to the point where they paying 0.92, 0.80, like 0.85. They buying like that. It's like super, super crazy. Super, super crazy. It like one of them was at on this type of software. It got beside what the buyers paying for. It had 0.92. That's what they was buying at. And that's like, you know, that's a hedge fund, gotta be, right? So that means they only took 8% off. They just wanted to be what they basically was taking care of the realtors. That's all it be. When you see that 0.92, because for a hedge fund, some of them, they want you to pay for the realtor commission, not them. They don't, the rest of the house don't care. That's how my first relationship with a hedge fund buyer I told you about was literally by, you know, accident. I ain't gonna say accident, but I didn't have him. Somebody else brought him. It was through a realtor. But when he literally bought it, the only thing he really was considering was that realtor fee. that house, we bought it, like, it was my last resort, you know? So they buy at crazy, crazy, crazy prices. So just think that in mind though, if you saying, hey, you want to make 20%, you can take off a little more to down to like 0.65. That's why some people say 0.65. Because I was showing that at first, like 0.79 repairs. I'm like, so that's a cheap house. You know, I'm like, ain't no way somebody gonna go for that, you know? And if you notice, well, I don't know, I'm gonna speak for me. That model I'm not using right now. I'm just going off of what I know they can make estimate in terms of, and sometimes they go above because of this market. Like I priced the house at like, I think it was 450, close to 500,000. But once they do all these crazy renovation to it, they say they're gonna sell it for 650, you know? So it's like weird right now. So when it comes to comp, like you see me ask that when I'm on certain stuff, because I'm always trying to listen for other people's views, you know, kind of like T was doing. Like she know this stuff, trust me. What she asking is like different views that you ask for. And I'm getting people's perspective as this market keep moving forward, you know, as we going through these cycles. How are they still buying? What method are you still using? Are you using these methods right here? And they'll give their example. And I try it in the stuff that I do. I'm always looking to learn and do more within this stuff. I don't never want to get to the point when I ain't learning. So I would suggest definitely take that route in all of this stuff. Like truly, truly do. So that's how you would stack a tire landlord list. And from Propstream, of course, you just go here. Hold on, did I save it? Right here. I do all the filters first, hold on. 35% equity is enough equity so where you can wholesale it because we're thinking cash sale, not what I'm thinking about, not a person that's going to finance the house, right? Because that's not a motivated seller. I put a video on my Instagram page where the guy, he brought a lead. I knew it wasn't motivated, but I'm the type that just won't say, nah, I don't got no motivation. I would rather show you when you, especially when you're fairly new, I'd rather show you live. So I was like, I think I was even about sleep, but I was on the thing and I showed him just from his notes that I knew this was a person who wanted somebody that wanted to buy his house as a family and not an investor. So you go listen to that thing on my Instagram, you'll see how at the end, I just got tired of like talking to him. So I just say, hey, so you saying you want this, and just, I had to guide him because at first I was just trying to ask him questions to basically teach the person, but it wasn't going like that. I just had to like do what I knew what was happening with the call. And then you hear the man say, yeah, why you asking me that? I just want you to go, you should just go get financed and come by my house. Why you asking me why I want to sell? They right, and I'm sure you can see me shaking my head at the guy, telling him beforehand, like when people don't give you that type of information, like why you need to know this, why you need to know that, and they got their guards super high, that means they don't have motivation to sell to an investor. They'd rather sell to somebody, or they really probably don't want to sell, or they'd rather sell to a person that's going to get financing for their house, especially for sale by owners. I don't recommend people just going out attacking that list like that, even though you can find some gold inside of it sometime. But just think a person that's listing their property on for sale by owner is literally telling you, I don't want nobody to get a dime of this money. I want all of it because I'm a list it myself, so I ain't paying no realtor fees. I ain't paying nobody to keep coming in and out of my house and none of that. I'm a list and do all of that. So what's the high likelihood that they'll take a discount? So, but you can. When you do, you want to just, the price they got it for, just take like 20%. Just say times 0.20 and see if they go for it. Because that basically saying I can get at least 10 or 15% return while I, or 10 to 12% return while I pay for realtor fees and all this stuff myself, you know? So that's why I just use that 0.20. I don't even comp it or nothing. Whatever they got listed for, just say 0.20 and offer it to them. Go a little lower, it's called price anchoring. Like if you know 160 will work, don't start at 160, go to like 150, right? Drop down to 150, 155. And then they be like, well, I want 165. Okay, let's meet in the middle at 160. You know, that's the price you wanted anyway. And then you get it on a contract like that. So, but this is one way of stacking the list. Then you go here, and of course, This thing is in the way. Save this, no, not save the search. Hold on. I want to do that. Import, export. Where's that button at? Okay. Okay, add it to the list and you create what it is list is called. I call it Idell. And I always put the date because I want to know when it came in my system so I can filter it right. You can see you see how I did this right here. This is why I do it for. But I would take this out and put Jan 22. And I'll put tired, or just TL. So I know it's a tired landlord and I save it. I don't want to save it because I'm not going to call on this list. And that's it. And then you export it out, of course. I'm gonna do a real list at some point of somewhere or something. And we can all just, well, y'all can call it or whatever, or I'll put out a list I have and just skip trace it again. It probably won't charge me and I can just give it to you. It don't matter, but it's cool. So today, tomorrow, we'll get into more filters. I was about to say skip trace, but I don't want to get into that yet. We don't have too much time for one. So I'm gonna hold it off until tomorrow. And I'm gonna think of something else I could have done here too. Like you see this filter, cool thing about Propstream too, when you do a filter, it'll give wherever county, it'll give you a wide range of all the title landlords, but this is not filtered down. So you don't want to just pick this, export it, and start calling, because 9 times out of 10, it doesn't have all of those filters attached to it. But these 244 properties is inside of this 808, most definitely, right? Because it's a title landlord, as well as liens and stuff like that. So you can go up here and actually just export this stuff out and filter and see if you get some traction from it. But I usually don't. I never have actually. I just filter it and narrow it down, because you don't want to waste time and money on, the most important thing is time. That's the key. The money part you can get back, the time you can't. So you sitting up here wasting time just on these leads and they saying no, 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 and then you get down to this 244 where you're getting a lot of more interest, and you'll find out like, yeah, I just need to filter it more. Even though you may get a deal up in this 808 that ain't a part of this 244, but the thing is, you're just gonna be going through it a lot. So you see people cast a big net, put out big lists and stuff like that, because it ain't too filtered. They're just going for broke with it and seeing what they can pull out of it. Got a few filters in it, but not a lot. So let's take that in consideration when you're doing it. And tomorrow, let me see, let me look at this thing real fast. And let me see, where is it? Yeah, tomorrow is skip trace for sure. And the free sites are skip trace as well as paid. And then when we get to the marketing part, I think we get into cold calling and texting. Before that, I get into marketing while we're talking about cold calling and stuff. And that's why I show you that free text app. I showed it to y'all already, which I wanted to. Let me see. Yeah, and if y'all have some ideas about my YouTube page, I'll say that a couple more times. Y'all can give me some ideas too. Yeah, because I'm open for it. I'm gonna be doing some fun stuff with that YouTube stuff. But yeah, so any questions real fast? Y'all got any questions? Oh, y'all don't got questions. That was that beneficial? I know I kind of got off the weeds a little bit today, but I hope that was a little bit. Would you recommend $1? Now, jail. Now we're gonna get into cold calling. We don't nobody on here. Well, hold up. I ain't gonna say nobody, but Erskine probably don't know what $1 is. Jonathan don't know what $1 is. I don't know what the rest of y'all probably cool. But I ain't gonna get into that. I would definitely recommend $1. I told them that yesterday if they wanted to go that route when it gets to doing it all by hand. But I'm not saying do that immediately like you have to. That's what I'm saying. It helps, definitely. because you don't want to keep dialing by hand. But do you need it? No, you can just do it as you want to do it. And these lists I'm pulling out real big. So if you got a multi-line dialer, they are dialing that. For everybody don't know, you dialing 3, 5, 8, 9, 10 lines at a time. And when one pick up, the 9 drops and it goes into a redial. So when you have something like a dialer, you want a bigger list, right? When you get to that point. But for this stuff, I'm trying to show you that you don't have to have that yet. You can. Like, I didn't have it first, and I did a deal off my iPhone. That's what I'm trying to keep reiterating. I didn't have none of that stuff, even though I could afford it. I'm just always cost conscious. I don't want nothing to basically hinder me and just putting stuff on because it just looked like a shiny object. You know what I mean? I just wanted to do it. Because for one, I ain't had no idea really what I was doing. Remember, I just jumped into the water, literally. Like when I found out what list to pull and all of this stuff, I just done it. So what it look like me putting it into a dialer? And call tools is super, super intricate. So you got to get onboarded, and that's going to just basically take up time. When you can just do it, just do it. Why are you waiting on it? If you want to get on the dialer, for sure, by all means, it's perfect. It's great. You know what I mean? I use it, of course, because I have people, teams and stuff like that. But at first I didn't. My whole point of this concept is to showing you that you don't need all of this stuff to really take action. Just embrace what the information that you have and move out on it. That's it. Don't worry about nothing holding you back other than your own self. So it always starts with mindset. If I'm thinking about dollars, if I'm thinking about VAs, if I'm thinking about CRM, all of that is a hindrance. That's in your mind. So you think you need all this stuff, and the only thing you need is a Google spreadsheet, an Excel sheet to put your list in. You get this number as a lead, copy and paste it, throw it right in Excel. You know what to follow it up with. Color code it. For my people that know how to do Excel, you can color code your Excel to know what's high priority, what's low, what's dead, basically. Color code it. You created your own CRM. So when you get deals coming in and you good with it, now go get the CRM. Podio is still free. It's $24 a month if you want to automate it. You can get a developer off of Fiverr, or what's the other site? Fiverr. Let me just say Fiverr. Or just go to all these Facebook sites, Facebook pages, and hunt for one that can do your Podio for list, right? So don't make it, I'm just saying, don't make it to the point where you think you need that to get to it. You don't, you definitely don't. When you want to keep scaling, when it's time to scale, meaning that scaling means, and it's the other part, because it sounds like a beautiful, fancy, nice word. People say scale, like, yeah, I'm ready to scale. But if you don't have no groundwork, like if you haven't done a deal, or if you haven't done 2 or 3 deals, like consistently, or even a deal, just say 1 deal a month consistently, how you know how to scale? You don't have no key performance indicators, your KPI. You don't know how to track it in order to make you get to, right? So why not figure that out? How many calls you dialed today? How many people you dialed today? How many of those turn into a warm lead? How many from that warm lead turn into a contract? So if you say, okay, I dialed 50, I got 1 contract, that 1 contract, got me this assignment fee, I need to talk to 100 people in order to get 200. And it may, of course, once you get up that high numbers, you're gonna start feeling your averages are gonna drop lower because you've gotten good on the phone, you got more prepared when you come into, when you even start talking to the people, you're more enthused. So it's not that you don't do that every 50 people average no more. It goes down significantly. Like mine goes down. It don't be that. I can talk to 10, and out of that it'll become something because I've set the people up before me to know what they're looking for. Like, hey, look for this. If it ain't that, don't put it there. So when it come there, it got a little motivation, and I can hone it in. Or if it don't have motivation, I still can have the ability to each pull them out over time. But that's not the part that we're starting from, right? That's all the thing I'm trying to get you at. That's what it means that we here now, like we here in this space, you're in this moment. Don't bog your mind down with all that stuff. I promise you. I see it, I promise I see a ton of posts like that all the time. Like I'm spending this amount of money and I ain't done no deals. It ain't the deals, it's the money. You spending a lot of money and you don't see your no return. That'll do something to anybody. You know what I mean? Why you think rich people don't want to lose money? It ain't because they ain't got no money. It's just the point that ain't nothing coming in. That's just it. They got plenty of money. They still trying to figure out how not to lose it. So imagine someone that's not on that level that's constantly buying for BAs. Them dollars is not cheap. And you buying for the list that constantly going through, and that'll go up. Once you see me pull some of the list, you'll see them $200, $300. The things add up. So if you ain't getting that one big list and you ain't recycling it right and you ain't doing the proper things, you done spent a ton of money in 6 months and you ain't got deals from. That's why people stop. That's the main reason why I see people stop. So when I see them type of posts, I inbox them. Like, hey, let me speak to you for a second. You know what I mean? And try to help. From what I have, as well as how to start. If they don't want to they don't have to come here, but I'm gonna give them stuff to like, hey, just do this to like hone it back. Let that system go. It ain't giving you no fruit, you know, let it go. Just work for this right now and just do it yourself. And then they got single line dollars too. A single line dollar just basically, it's cheaper, but it dial one line at a time and you ain't hand dialing. It'll dial one line at a time. I think one of them is air call, I think. I don't use it, so I can't vouch for it. But I think that's one you can upload a list and it's single lines. It just dial one line at a time, you know? But if I can get one line at a time, I don't know, I'm just different. I'm say, hey Siri, you know what I mean? Instead of just paying somebody $50 for something that I'm gonna be counting at the end of the month anyway, you know? So that's just where it's just my 2 cents. I ain't trying to sound like harsh or nothing like that, like you wrong or anything like that. So Jared, you know, Jared, you're my partner, so don't take, I know you ain't taking it like that. But for anybody that's here, don't think I'm harsh on it, nothing like that. I'm just saying, don't let stuff get you in the point of, oh, that look good, I should try that. Just stay focused in your lane. When you see that, I look at stuff as inspiration of what I can achieve, what I can do, what I can innovate to do something along with what I'm doing, or something like that. Not a comparison or I just want to keep latching on all this stuff. It'll have you everywhere, you know? So that's just my little 2 on that right there, man. That's it. So if everybody good and everybody got what they need, I ain't gonna get no homework. I would say for this thing though, to play in Propstream and filter stuff accordingly to, yeah, that be one thing. And we can, and y'all write down your filters, basically. Be like, hey, if it's a failed listing, how long was it on the market before it failed? Propstream have filters in that for it. You can say on the market for 5 months or 6 months, 180 days, and it failed. Or it's been on, or if you select on market, it's been on the market for 8 months. The market telling you this house is too high. The person has an unrealistic expectation. So that's a good list to call. And you can pitch them some type of terms, like do the 80% thing, the 20%. And if it's real clean, just know now, if it ain't selling at the price it is on the market, it's not going to sell at that price when you buy it. Just as clear as day, I can say it, right? Because that's, I done heard, I'm saying it because people said that to me. For like, oh, it got it on the market for this, I can get it for 10,000 cheaper. I'm like, nah, bro. So what money you gonna make? How you gonna make money? Or who gonna make money, right? Because the price the market is telling you is not wanting it at that price. So you got to go a little deeper. Oh, they got rid of it. That's crazy. That is insane. Oh yeah, I seen that today too. Yo, I was just on call the other day. I'm glad y'all said that. I was looking for, I think yesterday we could see, or did I open it up where it says MLS and it says public? It don't say MLS no more. It's all public. But what I think though, everybody, and I'm gonna ask Burton this too. You know when you, okay, let me show you. I can show you. Let me show you real fast. Where's it at? I don't know. What's it? Oh shoot. Right here. Check this out. I'm gonna select this property. So this isn't what they're talking about, everybody. This MLS detail is not what everybody was just talking about in the thing. This just means that it was pulled off the market and on 88 days. Well, I don't know. I ain't gonna get off in the weeds. I can read this and let you know what went on with it through just the tax information, all this other stuff. But this is what they were talking about. Propstream used to have somewhere right here, it had MLS and it had public. Or was it over here? I can't even remember where it was at. But I was looking for it today. And I'm like, yo, it has all like no public, no MLS, you right? But I think what's happening is this, everybody. You remember when Propstream did have public and it did have the MLS thing? Green meant cash, right? And when it just was like this, it meant MLS. I don't know if I'm right, but I'm hoping I'm right, to be real. Because
One color meant MLS and the other meant it was public record. So,
yeah,
and I think those 6, 7, like those green numbers, I forget what they mean, but the way that it was color coded before this just updated was the ones that were in white. Like if you're looking at, say, number 4 was colored in white, it would have been MLS, like the one at the top. And then the blue or the greenish ones were public record.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping they did when they just decided just to get rid of the filter. It just made it all one stream. That's the only thing I can think they done, because it wouldn't make sense. That's one of their selling points, is that they give you MLS access to their system. You can get nationwide access other than like Texas. Oh, you know what? I'm glad I said that. This should tell us right here. So Dallas, Texas. This should tell us something right here. Dallas is a non-disclosure state. It means, oh yeah. Oh shoot, I don't know, y'all. Oh, here it go right here. It say cash. Cash is green still. So I guess the plain ones, which Texas, it can only give you cash, right? It won't give you MLS. So all of this is MLS. I guess it's down at the bottom. I didn't see that. The purple, the intrafamily, I forgot what intrafamily means. One of y'all could probably remember what that means. It's something like
It's a transfer between family members where it's just a deed transfer or something of that sort, but they didn't actually do a real sale.
Yeah, yeah. It didn't like go through the title or something like that. It's like between themselves. He explained it to me. I know, but that's a good filter too. You can use that filter with I think it's pre-probate, when you can filter that too, if I'm not mistaken. But I think, so let me go back. So just for information for everybody, Texas is a non-disclosure state. So this has to be, no, they don't show public. So it has to be MLS, right? Yeah, right. It's not a public place. You can't see cash sales. It has to be MLS. So this must be MLS. Gotta be. Well, I don't know, because this stuff.
No, non-disclosure means they won't show you the MLS data.
Yeah, so.
You have to be a realtor.
Yeah, they say estimate. So we gotta look. It ain't right no more. I don't know. I gotta figure this one out. Because this is public record, but you see how it's saying estimate? MLS, I mean, Propstream used to didn't do that. It didn't used to have estimate when you looked at it. That's like Zillow. When you go to Zillow, you see them dots and it says, or I think Redfin does it too. It just had dots there. And then when you give a price, it'll say estimate, because it can't reveal it because it's a non-disclosure. So, oh man, it's gonna be something else. I hope they do something about that.
Well, they just, so I just read something online that talked about, I guess they have access to, on Propstream, you know, in those trainings that you talked about yesterday.
Mhm.
They have a training that talks about how to use public sources to try to gather comps and solds and things.
Mhm.
So I guess there's a video training since they've changed this, but it will no longer tell you things like expired listings, actual MLS data for solds.
Dang, yeah, we might have to switch up. Somebody gonna swoop in then, but that was their. I think I love them for that part. Like especially expired listings. That's where my deal came from. A failed listing. That first one. And they definitely ain't on it anymore. They had failed listing. What's else on there? Is something else missing? I don't think so.
So I can give you guys, so I don't know, Chad, if you know, like a little hack to get failed listings. So You can definitely make a connection with an agent that can set you up on a drip for expired listings. Not every agent has access to the same data. And so because the brokerages have relationships with different services, so they will have different lists of properties. So if you can get an agent or multiple agents to set you up on expireds, then you can get access to expired listing data. And also, if you know someone that already is getting an expired data list and maybe they're not using it, if they forward it to you in an email, now you have access to it. So if you save the link, you now have access to that agent's listings without actually having to contact the agent. So if someone sends you an email that they got from someone else with expired listings, then you can still have access to that agent's expired listings without ever having to contact the agent.
Okay, dope. Yeah, I think I'm looking at that thing, that Red X, trying to make sure that was the right thing, man. But it looked like that's connecting agents to qualified sellers. I don't know, I never used it. But I think that's somewhere you can go to. And it's another one that Dustin Kutcher, I'm gonna reach out to him. I got it wrote down, but I remember talking to Dustin about it. But it has the where you can reach out, but you gotta have access to agent for it too. And it gives you the ability to see, like, basically see MLS stuff without the agent. Basically, they just giving you access to it.
I
But
think he
that-
has access to that. I forget the name of the big title company that gave them access to something. It's the same that there's a couple people that have that. I don't though. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I find and try to bring it to you. I have it wrote down. We was discussing it one time with him and some others. I just don't use it. Like certain stuff, I don't go everywhere. Like that's another thing I want y'all to do. If you want to deep dive in the area, that's really, really good because you'll find out you're missing out on a ton of different stuff. You know what I mean? That's something that I'm even doing for just here. Because remember, I was always virtual first because it was just where I was at all the time. I was always down there. And I knew it was a ton of opportunities there in Atlanta. So that's why I like started from, and even wasn't at home first. And then I went back here, and then now it's like, oh yeah, you know. So yeah, agents definitely one. That's a free lead source too for connecting with agents and getting sellers. That's a definitely free lead source. I don't think I had that on the thing. You can get on there and do exactly what Tanisha said. I have a couple agents in Atlanta. They send me expired listings and stuff like that. And it's basically you having an agreement with them. And it's a trust factor too, that when you get something, you're gonna really take care of them whenever you do lock it up. So you don't wanna have that scarcity mindset of saying, oh, I ain't gonna pay them. They don't know all that sneaky stuff. They just, I don't know. People have that mindset though. So I would just rule of thumb, I would just always be straight up. You know, it's the best policy in anything. Being honest in your transaction to take you a long way. Yeah, exactly. Access is you want to compensate. You know, people know. Like with you doing business, you saying you can do what you can that you approach them with, they're expecting some type of compensation. And that's something that I was on with one of these influencers earlier. Me and him was just chopping it up about stuff and how he do his business. And it's all about what you leading with, you know. And he doing great from what he got going on. So I would definitely always don't have no scarcity mindset. That's just a rule of thumb, you know. Like if I get something and I know where one of y'all at, I would definitely send it to you. Just off the strength of you being in here for one. And for two, it's just gonna create a just another pipeline for you too. You know, if you want to look in the law of reciprocity is that you give, I was used to be bad about that. I give and don't be expecting nothing, you know, but you want to get into that go-giver mentality book where it talks about a ton of this stuff. It helps me get that mindset of, dang, okay, you're right. But I don't do it for that intention. I like to give you way, way more than you think you'll ever get me to the point where like, shoot, what can I give them? You know what I mean? Because I don't have it in my mind like that. As far as that conversation part of it. But cool, man. I appreciate it. This was a really good one right here. I'm definitely figure this stuff out. And as far as editing and all of that stuff, you know, I like to play around with tech stuff, even though I don't have the capacity to keep sitting down for it. I like to like talking to sellers and comping and doing all of this other stuff that comes super easy to me. And this computer stuff I do love. I like coding and trying to figure that stuff out. I just know it takes away what I'm stronger at, which is sellers and stuff like that. So cool. This was a good one, a real good one. So we got buyers, we got a way to filter list. You don't need the list now. Remember, the win way is the free way. It's the embracing the moment way. So you don't need to pay for this stuff. But me, you want to have, I'm never getting rid of Propstream. It's just that I wanted that one right there because I can do so much with it. I can comp, but more so than comping, I can pull the list, different type of list, as well as while I'm sitting there talking to them or while I'm on the phone with them, I can look at every backdrop that they got going on with their property. That's why I like Propstream. It's going to tell you little stuff you can just throw out in conversation casually while you're having that conversation with them. That's why when we get to talking to sellers, you're going to hear me say something like, yeah, definitely listen to that free book right there. Right there is like a game changer. So it'll definitely, you'll hear me throw stuff out when we get to sellers and stuff on how don't focus on that price on that first call. That's another thing, mistake people do. They hear, oh, motivated, oh, I need to lock them down the first. One person I know is really good at that, but he's been doing it for a long time, is this one guy, I ain't gonna say his name, but he's like really good at that. But it don't work like that for him all the time. You gotta nourish them. It takes time for you to get this person to say, yeah, I'm ready, you know, because this is a big investment, especially when they got some savviness about them, you know. So that's what you're gonna hear me say, like, don't focus too much on that price, the property, focus on that person. That right there, how you gonna truly help them out and mirroring them, like literally mirroring what they do, especially when in front of them. Oh man, that's when it gets different. When you're in front of them, you can really get in your zone and thinking. You'll start moving like them, like watching their mannerisms, all of that stuff. It makes them subconsciously connect with you on another level. So a little stuff like that is pretty dope. Brian Lee, oh, Batch Lee trying to take over then, ain't it? It's gonna be a race. We're gonna have to got that gonna text Burton. Burton, they got that, they on your top. Y'all done made all that money, done sold that company. I think y'all getting soft. That's what we're gonna have to tell them. Y'all getting soft around here, man. Y'all done sold Propstream, made them millions, and now y'all tripping. I don't know, it's interesting though. That was a good observation because I was definitely on my team and I was showing like, hold up, something missing. I kept, where is it at? And I didn't even know it's been an update today. Yeah, exactly. It definitely, yesterday's price is not today's price. Most definitely, y'all done got rid of that. Because that's the whole premise. They're going to go to all them different ones. That's why I say so many shiny objects out there, y'all, for the new ones. And even some of the seasonal ones, you'll get it all over the place. And it's that one, I think it's Propelio. They like MLS data. That's basically their thing, but it's a like Propstream. But I've never used it. I just heard people talk about it. So don't take my advice on that. I'm just saying. But yeah, good stuff, y'all. Tomorrow, I think today you can, well, it's dark. I keep wanting to get y'all for 5, even me, because I got like 2 things, attorneys I gotta call, and I'd be over 5 o'clock. And this one of them, yeah, dang, shoot. I have to send an email or something. But cool, this is nice. I appreciate y'all. Tanisha, is always a pleasure helping out, man. With everybody in here participating, that's really what I want. And that's what's gonna help, because I really want y'all to show the power in helping each other. Like, trust me, the more you give, the more it returns. And that just comes from an observation, not from it's, you know, it's always 2 sides to a coin, right? You got good, you got bad. So if you go something with an ulterior motive, meaning that I'm doing this just to get that, people pick up on that stuff, right? It truly do. But if you go into the thing where you just give, you just, the law returns it. It's how it is. It's good for good, bad for bad. Truly, it's just gonna come. You don't have to be, oh, I'm coming over here to talk to Brian to get something from him, and I'm gonna give him this. Cause that's basically like a thing of manipulation. You ain't doing it to help, you're doing it to deceive. That's really what it's about. And then when it don't work, you get depressed and all of this thing because, dang, I've been doing all this and I ain't getting nothing back because your intentions wasn't lined up right. That's all it comes back to. You know what I mean? You got to check that stuff. I kind of conscious of who I attach and align with. So, yeah, so I think the homework is definitely to come back in tomorrow with sellers that either you done got from the GIS, because GIS mapping, you can get tax delinquent properties on there. It'll actually tell you that. And I got a video I'm gonna try to put on my page too, where I tried it on my YouTube a long time. My YouTube is locked in my head. I love it. But it's on my Instagram page where you see me walking to the courthouse. And then that lady, and then I went into the tax records office and she actually showed me on the computer how you can filter it on there. I never used the filtering feature and it'll show you right then and there too. So GIS mapping is in every county, except I think 1 or 2 people said theirs is different. I can't remember what state that was. It's been so long ago. But you can go in there and get sellers or drive for dollars. I don't think I talked about drive for dollars. So you can drive the dollars and bring back, I ain't gonna say 50, you'll be out there. Well, trust me, it takes a really short amount of time to get 50 drive for dollar leads. That's nothing, I promise. Sometimes in one neighborhood. So you can come back with like 20 to 50 sellers. We already got the buyers. What I'm gonna do is take someone and we'll skip trace them because that's a part of the plan tomorrow. And then we're gonna actually dial them live. We're gonna do the Hey Siri method to show you how many people you can talk to. I know you're gonna hear me go through the 4 pillars of your list that I'm gonna skip trace and give it to you. And I'm gonna show you free sites. I'm gonna show you the free sites, how they line up with the paid sites. It's just that what did we say about mentors? We go for the leadership, the structure, and the community. But all this information, when it comes to these skip trace sites, is right here in this free site. It's just not structured. It's not readily available when you just download. You got to go through it and write stuff down. All, exactly, Tanisha, all public info just requires some work. It's literally right there. We pay for convenience and speed. It's what we pay for the time, so we can keep our time intact. And when you scale out, you need stuff for other people because they, making your stuff easier. But for our method, win, win. That's it, man. We trying to win. And how you gonna win is get into the dirt a little bit and really going forward. I mean, you gotta stay there, you know what I mean? But we building it brick by brick. That's what you wanna do. Take the stairs, baby. So I'm here with you when the whole thing, go into the Facebook group if you need to. I hope y'all, oh shoot, I ain't put my Facebook group in here. I got a Facebook group called Win With Me, Chad Glover. But when inside of there is where I want us to cultivate and create a community to where you have leads and stuff outside of this training, outside of this time frame. You just post a question in there. I'll see it, answer it. Tanisha see it. Super, you're gonna find out people who don't know Tanisha, what type of person she is. Super, super good person. I shouldn't have said that because I want y'all to just see for yourself. But Manuel, all these people that I know, George, if he come inside of there, all I'm gonna be more than willing to just lend y'all some information real easily. And we're gonna get to it, like truly get to it. But yeah, this is the Facebook group right here. If y'all can just go in and just sign up. It ain't nothing, it's free. It's just like a group, regular group. But I want to centralize us so I can drop stuff in and just as we go, just to keep giving you information on stuff that I have. And then because some days you're gonna be creative. And we can't, it's no way that I can be in here this whole time for creative. It's just, it'll take you too far. It's a ton of people that got that. And I'm gonna show you that. Like as you get deals, we'll go through them and you'll learn it as we go through it. You know what I mean? But for me to go through all the intricacies like that, it'll pull away from this message that I'm trying to even put out with this one course right here. It's literally free. Like somebody find this, they can go from A to Z and they got a whole business by the time we done. They're gonna see how to talk to sellers, everything. We literally gonna try to go through everything within this 3 week span. So that's why I hope at one point y'all get a deal. I hope tomorrow y'all bring a seller and we can talk to one and this would be super like eye-opening for everybody and everybody congratulating whoever goes and stuff like that. That's gonna be super dope. You know, just like me hearing y'all got all these hedge funds and big buyers and stuff. That's what's up. And that filter, people don't even realize that. That's why I like Propstream. It's just thinking it. It's literally, you got to think. When you building this list out, just think what type of problem you want to solve. That's it. That's the key to filtering the list. What type of problem you here to solve? So with buyers, what type of buyer you want? Do you want a buyer that's really buying? Put in 100 properties. That's going to give you a real, this buyer for real. You know what I mean? So you know this buyer is doing that. So when you talk to them, it's no coincidence they saying they buying like that. You just seen this filter you put in for them. It's that stuff like that is like right there that they don't be telling you about. It just had to be thinking about it and being around and like, oh shoot, that make sense. And it clicked in my head like, oh shoot, now I just give it away. So at the end of the day, and I'm gonna go after this, is that one of the main reasons that if I don't give you this information, or if I do, it's not going to deter you from getting your success. What's for you is for you. You know what I mean? So when people like, oh, hang on, I'm gonna just hold this close to the chest because I don't want to share it. That ain't gonna stop Tanisha, Jonathan, Manuel, Jay, none of y'all from getting what's already yours. They just gonna keep walking towards it. You just ain't gonna be one that they went around. They got exposed to being the one that can be a hindrance. That's all I look at it as. Oh, this person is just a hindrance at the end of the day. I ain't gonna look down bad at you, but you're the one I know that I can't come back to if I'm sliding down the hill. You know what I mean? You're gonna sit at the top and just keep crying for help instead of reach your hand down, you know? So I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna go down together. Really. We're gonna soften the blow together, then climb back up together. That's how I think, you know, so that's why I want the community to think like that. Like, truly, I promise you, you'll get way more at the end of the day. You can even build your whole business out by just helping people. That's it. That can be your whole business. So now you don't even got real marketing dollars you spending. You just helping. That's your reward. That's your reward. You get reward from what you're doing. So scarcity mindset will hold you back more than anything. So anything I can think of, I'm like, okay, yeah, if it don't take you too far, because I know what it can do. If you ain't prepared, it'll be confusing. I promise you. If I get too far into certain stuff, it won't make sense. It'll take you somewhere else. This right here is the basis of everything real estate investing, because it deals with cash, a cash price. If cash price don't work, how can I get creatively to make it work? That's why you go to this other stuff too. So this is the basis we going. It's like having a good sauce, you know? So that's it, man. I ain't going to keep talking. I appreciate y'all time here today and just helping me, you know? I love this stuff and I got stuff even I gotta do. So definitely got stuff I gotta do and I don't got off hold of it, but it's cool. What's for me is for me. I literally think like that. I get them. I'm about to get off here and call one now and try to get it locked up. So cool. Back to it tomorrow. So, the homework once again. Try to get if you can drive for dollars in the morning or reach out to these tax places or see just reach out to people that you may know who have, like, you'll be amazed that people see properties. I appreciate y'all. You're definitely welcome. Definitely. You'll be amazed that people start referring you properties of stuff, you know. Realtors. Did you see a realtor? I'm pretty sure everybody on may know a realtor. And just type a conversation with them. That may lead, they start poking in and doing, you know. So all of that, bro. That stuff is like gold. So let that be the homework. Come back tomorrow with a seller and you already got the buyers. We're gonna try to have some conversation. We're gonna jump ahead a little bit and just start having a conversation with them. Even before you know how to comp a property, I never comp. And this is the thing too, I don't do too much comping before I talk to the seller. They say, yeah, they're ready. Rarely do I do. Now, if it's something intricate and I'm looking at the notes, like, oh shit, I need to look at this a little bit, right? So I'm gonna go in and do a little real quick, do what I call a dirty comp, just looking at what sold. just going up under it and say, okay, and now we're having a conversation. But I really don't go too far on the price on that first call or the second call. Sometimes not even the third call. It's just me keeping in contact with them when I was doing lead. Like I do lead manage stuff still because I'm making sure everybody knows what they're doing. You know what I mean? But it helps me more when I don't have to because I can pour more into the people that's with me. I can put more if I ain't tied into this one thing. I can let my mind do and pour into. So, but we getting there. And we all gonna be on the journey together. Appreciate y'all. I ain't gonna take y'all took too much more time. And I'll see y'all tomorrow again at 3 with sellers. We got the buyers. Tomorrow we may be getting somebody saying, yeah, we're ready to go. That's gonna be super dope. I'm gonna be excited. I want somebody that ain't never did a deal. That's the stuff I like right there. That's a different type of feeling. So cool. See y'all tomorrow. Jail, you okay? I gotta check on my buddy Jail. Jail might have thought I was getting on. Jail, you straight?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, you know you're my partner now, so don't be taking that literal. You know how we do.
Yeah,
Okay,
talk to you about tomorrow.
see you tomorrow. Hey, Shantae, if you got, do you have my number? I would love to talk to you and try to set something up with you for sure.
Yeah, I
Outside of
wrote it
what the
down.
guy said, I think I gave it to y'all yesterday before I even know about the guy. Just you in person, is, you know, since I didn't know.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Try to get us set up something, even without the guy. I think I said that yesterday. No.
All right, sounds good.
All right, y'all. Check y'all out tomorrow. We're gonna get to it. Jonathan,
Hi, Chad.
check on my man real quick. Johnny, you straight? Oh, you good. Okay. All right. I'm
good.
I'm trying to filter
Okay.
through the ones I know that's new to this and making sure they are.
I gotta go and get some sellers today. Not sellers, but buyers.
Get the buyers. You seen the filter
yeah.
yesterday, right? They got you hear these. Did you hear these wins earlier?
Yeah, no, I gotta.
Right.
I only spent like an hour doing it yesterday, and I'm gonna catch up tonight.
No, bro. As long as you get back to it, ain't it? You ain't gotta do all at once. As long as you get back to it, that's it. It's something. You feel me? It'll come together. All right, bro. Talk to y'all tomorrow.
All right.
All right, later.
Bye.
Later.